10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6.
Hello and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in the Rocket Fuel community. My name is Wack. Today is August 18th and we're going to get started with this huge news that came out yesterday that's about Ethereum. And here it says the SEC is set to greenlight Ether futures ETFs in crypto industry win. That's according to Bloomberg and shared by DB TA10K. So TA10K is a news aggregator about crypto news. And this kind of like sent shockwaves through the crypto community, like the crypto, like everything. It was huge news that came out yesterday. So it really sent shockwaves out there. Now, why was this important? Because, well, for those of you kind of like in the know, what's happened is like a bunch of applications made a couple of weeks ago, and the way the futures ETFs work is the SEC normally tells you within the first couple of weeks that there's something wrong with your application. You should pull it. If they don't do that, it automatically gets accepted after 75 days. So that for the Ethereum ETH ETFs, that would be in the middle of October. Now, those applications made a few weeks ago, the SEC did not tell the applicants to pull their applications, so people are already kind of starting to assume that they might be okay, but everyone is kind of like holding their breath. But with this news yesterday, like, this is just phenomenal news. Now, this also means that it might be the case where we'll be able to the Bitcoin ETF might be more likely. Well, there'll be news of that coming out in about 1 hour's time from when I'm recording this. Potentially, there's a lot of rumors going around about the Grayscale case, and also there's a whole bunch of Bitcoin spot ETFs that are have the application submitted. Now, why this is important for Ethereum and Ether, especially, is that once you get the futures ETF through the SEC, that means a couple of things. That means that Ethereum's Ether is not likely to be a security, which is something that the SEC has not come out and said outright before, which is a really big deal. The second thing is that if the Bitcoin spot ETF gets approved, which could have massive inflows into Bitcoin, then by having a futures ETF for Ethereum already in place, that you can make the exact same points about the Ethereum ETF, the ETH ETF, as you would about the Bitcoin ETF. So hopefully that would mean a quick approval for an ETH spot ETF. Also, that would also then mean that ETH would get those huge inflows as well going into the next bull market, which would be absolutely phenomenal. So this is really, really big news for for Ethereum, for Ether, for the crypto industry. And one of the really interesting things was yesterday the markets were kind of crashing. Like, it was a really bad day where ETH had gone down from around $1,850, like a little bit before that, down to $1,550 here on Binance, as you can see on the chart. And then with that news of the ETF approval coming out, the price rallied really strongly, with a huge pump into like the 1700s, and now it's at around 1675. So if that Grayscale case comes through and it's a win for Grayscale, and that happens today, then I really expect some fireworks in the coming hours for the price. And all of this like doom and gloom from yesterday will, I think, have completely reversed, and I think a euphoric period will overtake the market in the coming days. But you never know what's going to happen with that. But I thought this was really big news, and it was worth covering, because after you get ETH spot ETF, which hopefully will happen soon in that case, the next step would be to get a staking ETF, an ETH staking ETF, and hopefully that would have really positive impact on Rocket Pool. But we'll see how all that goes. But this is really big news, and I thought it's worth covering right in the beginning of the show today. Okay, getting onto actual Rocket Pool content here, we have this premium now on our ETH on the secondary market, because the deposit pool, of course, is full, Also, the deposit pool is now not overflowing, which means that we have an opportunity now to arb the premium. So the premium is at 1.16% for rETH in the secondary market. That means that if you were to arb that, you would get around 0.3 ETH in rewards if you get your mini pool set up, if you get your validator set up. So there's a whole lot of like really good incentives there for you to spin up a validator. And as we can see over here, Marco Barco noticed that yesterday and started a bunch of bond reductions for their mini pools. So that will now take some hours, for I think it's 12 hours for Marco to be able to use the credit to spin up a new validator, and then we'll be getting 0.3 ETH, I think somewhere around that price for each of those. So Marco had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, like a whole lot of them. So we can even see here from this address that around 9 hours ago, Marco had around however many this is, like 10 or 15 bond reductions. I think Marco is going to go really crazy with the bond reductions right after the reward snapshot, so they don't miss out on too much RPL for this next period. But this is definitely really interesting, and I think this is just showing something that's going to come, especially if the premium gets a little bit higher in the coming days. There's a whole lot of people waiting on the sidelines who will be wanting to get into position. So it's definitely worth keeping an eye on this. And I think if you are kind of on the fence about using the premium to arb, you've got a short window, because once Thomas or Marco kind of start sniffing around that premium, it won't last too long. So definitely consider that premium, because it's 0.3 ETH I think at the moment. That is free money, so you can't really go wrong with that. Okay, so yesterday we had the Rocket Pool community call, and the community call was a really successful one, and there was a lot of really interesting things that were included in there. It's definitely worth a listen. In the community call here, Dr. Doofus gave us a quick summary. He says that there was information about the new website. There was also talk about the path to LEB4s and to mega pools. There was also information about new hires for the team, and how the ODAO is changing. And Val also came on stage and talked a little bit at the end of the episode. And Dr. Doofus finished saying, "What a community call! I'm going to wake my kids and wife and tell them about it." So there was some really good content in there. It was an hour and a half long, so it's quite long, but I think it's worth your time to give it a listen, because there was some really good information in that community call. I'll put a link to the actual call itself in the description. I thought I had one here, but I guess not. But yeah, I'll get the link for you all and put it in the description as well, so you can find that call and you can listen to it, because I think it was a really good one. Okay, next, with all that volatility in the ETH price yesterday, there was some really big blocks that were coming in. So, there was blocks at 45 ETH, 7 ETH, 27, 95, 91, 11, 13, 21, 35, 9, 35, 37, 118. So some of these ETH blocks were really, really huge. Like there was a whole lot of money coming into those builders, right? Into those proposers. Like here, like Lido, 2 blocks in a row at 95 ETH. Coinbase had one at 118 ETH. There were some really big ones. So there's something that was kind of seen here. Like if you have a look on the second line on the image, it tells you what the builder of that block is, and almost all of these were built by a relay and a block builder. However, 2 of them were not built by block builders. The first one was this one in the Rocket Pool block, and the other one was this one down here where it says vanilla. And these 2 blocks were 0.35 5 ETH and 1 ETH compared to the others that were like many multiples of that. So in the Rocket Pool community, people kind of talked about this, and they talked about this particular block that was in the smoothing pool. So it says it looks like the block that proposed doesn't have any MEV enabled, or it's broken, as both its proposals in the past have not had MEV rewards. Someone correct me. It's likely they missed some big MEV rewards during that ETH dump yesterday. And then over here as well, Horog says, if the mini pool which proposed the block during the high volatility a few hours back had MEV boost enabled, it would have sent about 15 ETH to the smoothing pool instead of 0.34 it actually did. Not generational wealth, but still. And then there's a link to how you can get more information about that. Now, this was something that I talked about at Rocket Fuel a lot once MEV boost started in the beginning, because there was this idea that if you're going to be in the smoothing pool, you need to produce the best possible blocks for the other members of the smoothing pool, right? Like if you are in a position where you're taking from the work of others and you're sharing your work with them, then you should be producing the best possible blocks. If you are not comfortable using MEV boost, as some people are not, then it's best for you to not be in the smoothing pool and just go out there and build your own vanilla blocks and just keep them for yourself. The reason for that is because you're taking away share from other people, right? Like you're contributing to blocks not being as good as they could be, and in a way that's not cool, right? Like in the past I used stronger words than that, and I won't do that now, but like it definitely are better ways of building blocks that you should be using. Now, one of the things that's really important here is that the amount of money that like it costs the smoothing pool is a huge amount, right? And this is really tangible. One of the situations where it's really tangible. 15 ETH is nearly like $25,000, and that is a big amount of money that should have gone into the smoothing pool, but instead it didn't. Now, I don't know if this person has it turned off. I don't know if this person, or it's broken, like Chaos says. Those are possibilities, but it's something that really should be looked at. And like if you are in the smoothing pool, just make sure that your MEV boost is turned on, and you can connect to whatever relays you want within that. Any relay is better than making your own block for the purposes of getting maximal value to the smoothing pool. And if you're not comfortable using MEV boost, then that's absolutely fine. There's no compulsion in Rocket Pool, the protocol right now, to use MEV boost, although it's been talked about, and it might be the case that is the case in the future. But just leave the smoothing pool. Like if you don't want to use it, like that I think is the better option. But even then, the rETH holders miss out on having the best possible blocks, and the Rocket Pool protocol rewards are less than those of our rivals who are all using MEV boost now. So that was just a little rant at the end of the episode to finish that. Today's episode was a really quick one. Definitely go and give the community call a listen. It was a really good one, and I will see you all soon. I'm going to be traveling for the next 3 weeks starting on Monday, so the episodes might be a little bit less, like the frequency of episodes might be a little bit different from my usual rhythm. Also, I'll be in Europe, so my timings are going to be different as well, so you might be getting episodes a lot earlier in the morning or like later in the afternoon. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work out, but I'll still be making episodes, and most likely though I will just be using my computer audio and without a video, so sorry about that, but I'll try my best to get episodes out, maybe not every day, but most days, and I think hopefully in the next 3 weeks I'll only miss a handful of episodes. So with that in mind, I hope you all have a lovely weekend, and it's likely that I will see you on Monday, but maybe with just my voice and not my face. So that's something for you all to look forward to. Thank you all for watching, listening, and being part of the Rocket Fuel community, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.